The reason why I'm in this hospital is because I want you to know that I'm part of you and you are part of me. I did not come here so you can vote for me. I came here because I want you to know that I'm one of you and you're one of mine. As long as you're Ghanaian, I'm Ghanaian. We are Ghanaians. And I would urge all of you not to base colors and parties to determine the future of this country. That the voter region of Ghana is one of the strongest regions and the most wealthiest regions in the country. And it has beautiful locations and environments. And you have beautiful people with beautiful region, but what has come out of it? Nothing.
He's about to go now.
Well, let's get our minds right. Let's not base the development. People tell me that come and save us. No, I'm not the savior. We are saving ourselves together. But we just need to make our minds right. We have to look at our mothers and what they're going through. We have to look at our fathers and what they're going through. If they have failed, how can we rely on them? Their hope is us. We have to make it right for them. If they were wrong, we have to correct it. So I'm urging all the people in Volta, this is Hohoi and I know very well where I'm standing, that don't vote by parties anymore. Vote with your heart, vote with your mind, vote with your spirit, and vote with your soul.
call them with fingerling.
There's a catfish in the catfish.
I think what else do they need?
Right. All right, so this is our first fish farm. I'm excited. Wow. So each one of these farms have 1,000 fish. This is supposed to inspire younger people and some people in this country that they can help create jobs for the youth. Once we are able to create these things ourselves, we will be able to expand the farms. And if it's 10,000 fishes in 3 months, I don't know how much a fish is, but that could be a big capital, right? What is the cost of a fish? Oh,
What's the minimum one?
okay. So that's 100,000 capital. Well, we invested quite about half of that to do this. So in 3 months, I think it's only going to be more profitable when it's volumes. And that's what we should inspire people to do. I hope the youth that are going to be handling this, we want to follow the farm business. We want to see it grow and we want to help expand it. I mean, if we had 20 of this here, then we're looking at 20,000 fishes every 2-3 months. And that by 50 or 100, it's quite a huge capital, huge sum of capital to replicate the business and expand the business. Are you guys excited? Have you ever done fish farming? Let me ask, Madam Doctor Isaka, have you done anything like this before?
Yes, yeah. I mean, about 20 to 30 years ago at home, we had a fish pond.
Okay.
We had actually a swimming pool that became dysfunctional, so we decided to use it as a fish pond.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, for a while we had a few fishes in there.
So that was a fashion
So that was
fish pond.
my first
Your business, right?
a fish pond.
Well, I have never had anything like this, and I'm happy for whoever that is going to be managing this because, you know, I see it as real business. What do you say, Madam Ruby?
Yeah, I have no idea. I haven't seen this before, but I think it's such a great initiative.
Thank you.
Yes, it's a great start, and I hope the people going to manage it will see the potential in this and grow it.
Well, before we cut the short, can we see some of the farmers?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he is patient on the farm. Yes, yeah, three of one, two, and one other guy. Yeah. So we help with the setup. I'm in conversation with Isaka. So we are planning to set up a training program whereby market days and maybe weekly we announce on the TV stations. So we announce at the radio stations and probably the market centers so that people will get to know. Call my number. Call my number and then we go on with the training program.
Okay. Achu, you want to cook the fish later or you are going to farm it? Achu wants to speak. What do you want to do? Give him the microphone. You what?
I will take good care of it.
We will take good care of.
Okay, thank you. For our first 2,000 once they grow, I think they sort of.
Yes, they get very big. If they consume 1 kg of feed, they will be 1 kg.
Okay.
So per weight for 1 kg it goes around 70 cedis to 100 cedis.
Oh.
Some can even go more than that, more than 1 kg. Yeah, they're very active ones who eat more than 1 kg, so they will grow bigger.
All right. So let's say 3 months. Let's just give ourselves 3 months that we're going to sell and buy another 4,000 fishes to expand.
But for 3 months it should be around 500 grams, not 1 kg. For 6 months it will get to 1 kg. Then the harvesting can be done. But the market the market women, they will come at every stage, depending on the size. Some prefer smaller sizes to bigger sizes. So.
Yeah, but the smaller the size, the smaller the money, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking from the business perspective. I think that, it's the capital that is invested to put this. If it's doubled, that means the farm can be doubled.
Yes.
Okay. But how do we also pay Achu and his crew? Because they can't also stay with this 6 months and then everything goes back into the fishes again.
Yeah. Okay, so for the first harvest, we can keep them to 6 months. Then we sell and get the capital plus more and reinvest it.
And expand.
Yeah, and expand.
But we have to remember that we will still have these 2 tanks.
Yes.
So all we're going to have to buy is just fish and food.
Yeah.
And I think that could take us to 6 if we're able to sell in 6 months instead of 4.
Yeah.
And that would be a good farm, a good size. 6,000 in 6 months, I think, is a great achievement. But let's hope for that.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, are you guys gonna come together and let's cut the sword and bless this? Achu, make sure you join us too. Wait, get a t-shirt for Achu. Some t-shirt. In the name of the Lord,
The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
let's give them some more food.
Can you?
I don't chop them all.
They're gonna like me because they're gonna know that there's someone that gave them a lot of food.
Overfeeding is overfeeding allowed. No, overfeeding is not allowed.
Yeah, but we allow it for today.
Okay.
But they're not coming.
Look how they're coming up.
We see them.
I don't see.
The bed chop
Yeah,
them
they're
all.
coming. Look. They're happy. They can even see them. They're speaking now. Who's here now giving us all this food?
But you should have come for the
So what do you think we can do in Ghana to naturally create a lot of these opportunities for people? Because in almost every water, there are fishes. We're just not nurturing them. We're not doing what is right to industrialize the farming aspect. And even this food, we still don't know how to do it. We have to import it. But this is imported, right? So what do we know how to do? What is it that we can do? Plus one.
In Ghana, they're nothing.
I'm sure you can do something. The way you've been very respect to the camera. By now, if you want to do this, you should be able to do it all. What does this contain?
That we can be able to do here in the Volta region. So we meet with the demand. Because apparently a lot of farmers need the feed. Because of the high cost, they are unable to buy more in order to expand their production. So some of us are actually working with the help of some institutions to help us facilitate the process so that we can be able to get and produce feeds locally to reduce the cost and expand production.
Okay. Well, I want to say, out of all the farms that we've created, this is one of the most very interesting farms. Like, I don't know, there's chicken farm, there's guinea fowl farm, there's sheep. We've done avocado farm, but fish is quite interesting. You know, they're quite peaceful in the water, and they're like, we're not coming anywhere, just give us food to eat. You know, and we're gonna grow big for you, so one day you can eat us. But I know, but that's what we do, right? I'm just being factful. So how do they breed? That's another question. Where's the gentleman?
For breeding, we would have to keep them for identify a male and a female.
Hey,
The biggest size is we keep them for 2 years before we cross them. But for now, we'll be buying the fingerlings from breeders who are already breeding.
okay. So you need a 2-year-old fishes to breed. That means your investment will be stacked for 2 years before they breed.
For the breeders. So we will select 2 of each. So 4 out of the 1,000 will be kept for breeding.
4 out of 1,000. And they can breed another 1,000.
Yeah, they can.
But how long would it take?
Keeping them for
2 years. How long would it take? I mean, after the 2 years, how long would it take for them to breed 1,000 fishes?
at the pool they can for the 2 they can breed 1,000 and one during 1 year they can breed 1,000.
That's one pregnancy or what?
The 2 fishes.
The 2 fishes can breed 1,000.
They lay eggs in the number.
Chop a lot.
So then 1,000 can come.
This is fishes.
That's interesting. For 2 years to wait. Okay.
But they are not active.
I see one here.
They've had enough.
So they just stay settled down.
Why did I goes back? At the feet. Is it too big for it? Maybe because of the birds, they are afraid. It's trying to get to the thing.
Rolex, have you gotten like the fish? Can you see through it?
It's just a few.
Okay.
Eat at once.
They are here more than they are that side.
Yeah,
No,
this
they're
side
sleeping
is
here.
just, yeah. Can we do something
They are
for
here
them
more.
to come up?
The feed usually bring them
Yeah,
up.
but this side has been stagnant. It's not moving. Nothing is going on in here.
No, are you sure they're there?
Yeah, this side. There's a lot here. There's no movement.
No, it's not the fishes are not there. We used something to block the grain. That's what's showing us it.
No, not the white stuff.
No.
It's a
black,
bunch of black. Okay.
Sorry. Okay, I'm looking forward to see.
The outcome.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
And do you think Rotarians are more into fishes in terms of farming?
There are quite a number of them around, but not as big as these 2.
Oh, so we're already the biggest. Yay! All right, I just want the youth to be inspired and understand that we tend to eat everything we breed. But also, if we can think about the business aspect as how the breeding can become more of a business and multiply. You know, I like the fact that in 1 year you can have maybe 12 out of this that you can keep for 2 years. In the 2 years, they can breed you about 6,000 to 8,000. And if you have 8,000 and you have 8 of this, it means your farm is very successful. Yeah. Like, I believe that in 2 years you should have 10,000 at least of these fishes. 10,000 by 70 is 700,000. If it's by 100, then it's 1 million. For something that we started with 50,000, that would be interesting in 2 years. I pray for growth like this. Thank you guys very much, and it's great to be here. You want to say something?
But I also wanted to say something.
Please.
When you mentioned that we started with 50,000, you just click that. That shows the importance of financing for the youth. How many people have 50,000? So there is a need for that kind of support for the youth to take such initiatives, because you can have such a brilliant idea, but if you don't have anybody to give you that seed capital, then it remains a dream.
Yeah. I personally think that capital seed is needed in every business, and we shouldn't expect people to have money before they have capital. Sometimes we should expect the idea of being able to regenerate the capital that was invested in a business. It's what is going to support and convince people to invest into people. So it shouldn't just be about the capital. It should be that hunger of the youth wanting to do something. Because this same fish pond could have started from a mere river that is around the corner. So all it is just a water body in this. So this is what really is holding the fishes and feeding them. But there's a river behind here somewhere that those same breeded fishes can go in there, and it will cost them 2,000 or 3,000, and they can start breeding them and they can turn it around. I think it's more to do with the mentality of creating wealth out of business ideas than asking for capital to do the business. Because this can be depleted, this can become a failure if the supervision, the monitoring, and the passion to turn this around is not there. If someone decides to eat the fishes after 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, you're going to have 300 instead of 1,000. And if you have 300, you're not going to be able to expand if you sell it. So you're going to have these two things here for the next 10 years. And it would be of no value. But the art of Ghanaian youth understanding that their investment is also the time, the passion, the determination they put into business to see returns. That also I see as very important. It would attract us investors to do it. Like, I would really put another 2 of this if they can double this. I did it for even the disabled industry, that one person can get themselves another tricycle. I had to buy them another one, because for me it means that if you're able to double it, you can triple it, and after that it's multiplication. And that's the mentality I think that the youth in this country should have. And besides everything I've said, this is a big thing. I mean, if I had this opportunity, when I was probably 10 years old, I would see it like it's heaven. I probably would not sleep just to wake up and come and see that the fishes are alive and they're growing. So passion is one thing. Determination brings a drive. Passion brings concentration. And then when you're able to reach the goal, that's when you actually fall in love with your business. That's what I want for Ghanaian youth. Thank you. Any questions before we go?
I am in the cassava farming. Last year I did 8 acres. This year I was able to multiply to 6 acres. I want to ask if there will be any support so I can increase and probably employ some of my friends into the cassava farming.
I mean, we intend to support all the youth in terms of what they're doing in business, especially agriculture. It kind of surprises me to see the new force doing what we're doing, because it's like, what are we chasing? Are we chasing some presidential seat, or we are chasing a nation to make them better? If you were to ask me, it's the second one. You know, we're trying to make things better for people. We're trying to let them become a part of society and be encouraged by society, with or without the power. You know, and I think that's what the government and the leaders of our country are supposed to do for the youth, to encourage them to be business oriented and grow up, you know, and understand expansion of businesses. So we are willing to do that for the youth. But the one main thing that I think is better is the industrial mindset around the farming itself. And when you understand the industrial mindset, you would now see that you don't need a 2-acre or 4-acre cassava farm. You will see that you need 100-acre growing.
Exactly.
You understand? Because that's the only one that makes money. A 2-acre, you have to eat it yourself. You know, it's like you use it for fufu and your family, because if you try to sell it, you're not going to make a lot out of it. You know, I think it's maybe 40 meters after one, right? What is the meter difference?
Well,
When you plant one here, you have to go
it's like
the spacing. So it's about 2 feet.
yes, about 2 feet.
2 feet. Okay, so for an acre, you're looking at about 300 crops on that acre.
No, last year when I sold 2 acres, I got 8,000. And so this year I'm expecting 20,000 from what I have now.
For 4 acres.
Yes, no, I have about 6 acres now.
6 acres.
Yes, please.
But then if you get 20,000, it's going to cost you 10,000 or more.
Yes, please.
So your profit is going to be less than 50%. The point that I'm making is that if you wait for 1 year for 8,000 doing a farm like that, farm is a big thing. So if you can look at it from the volumes perspective, then that's when you can really do things. Because I went to a cassava farm in one of the regions, and they just, they're the ones, they cut the cassava, prepare it, and they just come and take it, you know. And the people didn't know that cassava, it's what they used to do beer in this country, you know. So there's spray starch, there's medicine, there are a lot of things that the cassava does, but we only know it as cassava and we eat it. I think we eat the food more than, you know. Yeah, so they use for fufu, they use for gari, but they haven't processed it to the business level. Everything we're processing in this country is for us to feed ourselves with it, you know. So you go to the market, you find gari, you go to the market, you find banche, you find fufu, but you won't find the processed cassava.
Now we have a factory around us that do buy in larger quantity. They process it into other things. And that is why.
What are the factories that you have around you? Is it from one of your own?
No, please, no, please.
Exactly. So if somebody is coming to buy your cotton and they send it to a factory and they come back and give you a shirt, and you don't know how the process of the shirt is done, and you're buying the shirt, but you're the one that planted the cotton, how do you feel about that? Okay, so that's what the new force is about. That's the industrialization. So that mixing part, the mixing link, is what we're trying to give to all of you. That there's no point losing that intelligence in between the farming and the culture, the agric itself, and the culture of the agric, which is what one thing can do. It can do 7 things. That 7 things, if you find out how it's done, you will see that it's machines that is squeezing something, cutting something, putting it into something, mixing it with something, packaging it, and then now it becomes a different taste completely. Exactly, and it's a high demand for it. Oh yeah, look. If you see yam, you think yam is just for eating. But even if you're going to eat it, there's a whole lot of things that you can do. There's pounded. Nigerians only eat pounded yam, and they consume yam more than Ghana. They're almost 300 million people. So if we were doing already pounded yam in a sachet, that means Nigerians will be buying from us because they can't meet their demand. But we only take the yam and sell it directly, go home, put it on fire and eat it. So there's no processing. That's what New Force is bringing into this nation, making sure that we go through the processing procedure so the next generational leaders that are coming would understand that the food is not just to eat, it's also for processing. You still eat out of it, but it will be processed. So we're not going to overfeed ourselves anymore. You know, we're going to eat moderate. Like I want to say that it's one of the things that if I had to change the mentality of this country, I wouldn't do it by talking to people. I would do it by changing their diets. I mean, I'll repeat it again. If I have to change the mentality of the people in this country, I will not do it by talking sense into them, but it's just a matter of changing their diet. When the diet is reduced and well processed, the human becomes more active. When the diet is unprocessed, the human becomes more timid because it's heavy. What we're eating, we don't process it. If our food is crude oil, if our food is oil, it will be crude oil. It won't be petrol or diesel. It will be the direct crude. And therefore, if you put it in an engine, it will still run. But a matter of time, it will weaken it. So our food also kind of weaken us, but not by the body, by the brain, because you become overtired. And that's why Ghanaians suffer from blood pressure and diabetes and all of this at the old age, because our food is very heavy. We need to go through processing. It's important. Thank you. That is unactivated. Because there's only one region that is fully activated, and that's Accra. Which I think for a country is not fair to build a country and then the concentration is on one side. You know, you're looking for minister of anything, you come to Accra. You want to travel to England, you come to Accra. Everything you want to do, you have to come through to Accra. If you're in Kumasi, you come to Accra. If you're in Takari, you come to Accra. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I think it's not fair in national governments. So we want to build all the 16 regions, and we have done a thorough research about your attributable reserves and your arable lands. And that tells us what every region is worth. In fact, the results tells us that Western region is by far the richest. But not only the richest region in Ghana, probably the richest in the whole of Africa. And Volta region is fifth on the list. I mean, you have $192 billion of attributable reserves. I'm not talking about proven reserves. Attributable. It's sitting there, no one is touching it. It's there. And we want to bring all the plants. This is processing plants. You know, health equipment to expand things. And then use the water as water transportation to connect at least 6 to 8 of the regions. That is the Volta Lake. It's the biggest man-made lake in the world. I think people should be queuing in the world to come and see it. What's happening here? No one is even using the water. Yes, apart from gas and cement that transports their limestones with it. It's not for leisure. Nothing. And inside the water, you have billions of dollars of oil, offshore oil sitting in the basin. And everybody is talking about no jobs. See, the painful thing is, we're going to educate all these young people. They're going to do their masters, or they're going to do their national service. When they finish, then they sit down and say no jobs. Yes, of course there will be no jobs. Because if you have all of these things sitting down and you don't have the machines to operate them, they'll be sitting. And somebody will bring machines from outside and take them. That's what is happening in Ghana right now. We have the gold, but somebody brings a machine and come and break our rocks and take the gold from the veins in the rocks. Whereas somebody is going and putting poison in water and causing man to find grams of gold, but destroying all the water that feeds the ground. Because our leaders have refused to do industrialization. So we are going around Ghana, spreading the message, learning from the people, and the people are also learning from us, and we're connecting with them. And also letting them know that their rights of democracy is not based on what their mothers or fathers will force them to do. Their right is to vote for whatever generational leadership that they think can relate to them more, that they see a future with, that they have hope with. So we can change the political narrative of this country into leadership. Because the political narrative is a consensus that is based on partisans. Everything is about a party. Yes, the two of you might not have this job because you are with this party and you are with this party. So I'll take this one now because this party is on power. We can't live like this. We can't. But that's my message. I know that I might be very young, but time is everything. I don't see myself as a young person. I see myself as I have time. To become 70, I will have 30 years to do what a 70-year person cannot do, but has been given the authority to do because he's old and he's weak and he can't do it. So that's what I see myself as. But other people think I'm young. I don't see myself as a young person. I see myself that I'm old already. In 10 years, you cannot add me to the youth again. You will add me to the old people. So I'm old. Now, I was giving an example today that if you're 18 years old and you want to be a footballer, you have a dream you can fulfill. When you turn 27, stop thinking about being a footballer, think about being a coach. The time is gone. Now, if you're 27 and you're already old in the football field industry, what is that telling us today? 27-year-old man who is about to get married and have family, he's too old to play football. That generates millions. So that should tell us that if we don't give the chance to the young people of our nation to become a part of our national governance, then the future of our country will be doomed by people who are outlived their future already, that we're expecting them to build our future. This message needs to be conveyed to people. I don't know who's doing it apart from and manifest into your soul than have a written paper that is copy and paste from some political party called Labour or something from somewhere in the world, and it's full of promises but it never become a reality. It's a program. Let's face the reality. Ghana needs that change. And the reason why voter is a deep part of my heart is because in my vision, voter can connect the north and the south. And you can lead water transportation to Bono and even Ashanti. We can connect it to River Pratt and all the things. You've already seen it. Ada is going into the sea. That water is there already, and people are building around it, and it's become a leisure space. That same water can become an industrial space. That same water can be transporting containers of processed cocoa, processed plantain, processed yam, processed of many things. It can come and connect to this water in Dambai that is brought me here. We have the waters to connect ourselves and to start industrializing ourselves. What are these leaders doing? And they keep educating the people, educating. Yes, I like education, but please, education without the plan is going to come up to nothing with the degrees after. I've seen it myself. I go to nursing schools. There's so many girls there. They educate them for 20 years only for some smart person in England to come and pick all of them. So we, the investors that we invest in our children to become doctors and to become nurses and to become whatever, somebody is there waiting for us to put our investment in, comes and grab the people. They are importing talents from our country and we are importing products from their country. And the product has come from the raw materials that we produce. Hey, come on, think about this one. This is craziness. 2024, we have to change what we're... Politics should be changed. I will repeat myself again. They're importing talent from us. Our own talent goes out there. And then they extract raw materials from us. Use our own talent to refine it, to process it. Then you go and import the finished product into your country and pay taxes and sell it times 10 to your people. This is human torture. You have the cocoa, you have the cotton. You don't know what cotton does, but you always buy shirt. So the process of it being textile, yard, textile, cotton, yard, textile, and material before it becomes pattern and a shirt. You've missed all that 7 teachings. You just know how to buy, consume the shirt. In the next 100 years, if we don't change our leadership to the modern minds, we're going to be slaves. I'm sorry. And I don't mean to be discussing this in such a conference room where, we're teaching everybody about health. It's very good, but we need a general knowledge as well. Because without it, your health is still at risk. You need to understand that without the right equipment in place, we can't be killed the right way. In fact, the very, very successful people in this country, when they're sick, you tell them to come to a local hospital. They're not coming. They buy ticket to go outside. It's not like we don't have the people, we have them. But there's no industrial support. If you see one hospital that Eurocare, there is a machine in Eurocare and they told me the whole of Ghana, this is the only place, and it belongs to Indians. So the whole country, 33 million people, there's only one hospital, Eurocare, with a particular machine with, come on. And then somebody puts billboards on the road for 2 years, showing his face everywhere in every corner, that vote for me. And that's who you vote for. But I came to Volta to tell Voltarians that I know that in the past 40 years, you have been stuck with one party. You should not stick with the party. Stick with the nation. Stick with the country. Stick with the people, what they need. It's more important and not what the politicians need. They're only here for 4 years. A 4-year job does not guarantee us anything. 4 years does not even guarantee some of us a home that we're going to build ourselves, let alone to build a whole country for us. But all of this campaign is based on just somebody coming to power for 4 years or 8 years. And that whole 40 years, 5 times of 8 years, we haven't seen any change, but we're going backwards. The minute I entered Oti Dambai, I saw a party with people carrying buses and bringing humans to one place and putting tent and this is a whole conspiracy, eh? It's a big thing. That's what I saw first. And then I went to the market. I saw thousands of people selling. But there was not one shop. They're selling right under the sun. And in front of me, it's a whole water. Then I looked at somewhere like Europe or America, what they would do with such space. You will see at least 100 to 150 ferries, going up and down. And businesses happening. You would have seen factories. You would have seen malls. Look at us, we turn it to a sun. We're sitting in the sun. We dig the yam straight from the ground, put it right there, and the sun is beating us, beating the yam. And the qualities. that has been given to by the universe, and it has to be transcended into humanity. It's now being invaded by outsiders. People who come from anywhere, they just go and they start mining and they start putting poison on the grounds and everything. But meanwhile, the government's interest is that go and tax the people on the ground that you've given permit to, so they can pay you every year. They've left the actual environmental protection. And I think that since you are an environmentalist, it led you into the question of pollution. Yes, pollution in Ghana is just like we talking about credit crunch in Ghana. We don't have credit crunch here. We've been crunched for 20 decades. Do you understand? We don't feel it. We just know that the economy is not good. We don't have money. We don't have jobs. But if you talk about credit crunch in Europe, it hits them. It hits them like a gunshot because they're used to a system in place. And if the system shifts a little bit, it affects their whole life, their mortgages, their homes, everything. In our case, pollution is not a problem right now for us because just by coming from the hotel to here, I've been polluted with dust. Just from the hotel to here. So if we sit here and try to talk like white people instead of going into industrialization and finding a way to cover the dust, finding a way, the same pollution that is coming from the machine or the plant that is doing the pavement blocks, which is coming from your rubber, you're using rubber to recycle to do your pavement, will cover all your grounds in a space of 5 years, that the dust will go away. So you're only polluting a section where you've created jobs, but you're solving the most sections. Africa had to go through industrial phase, whether we like it or not. We have no choice.
NJ afutu aseresem ni nyina hefa ne yebe hu no Dynamic TV Plus. Okutwa so memo adefo ho dawuroda. Subscribe na share na fa comment bra said ye be yebe hu de wo pe na aso hu de medeba. Adwen na anya adwuma nipadua no bre entenase ma areho enye wo moso. Ema konkonsan so ma wo bi fi abra o subscribe Dynamic TV Plus yanka bi na bibi papa hwe. Don't forget sa adwen na anya adwuma nipadua no bre.